have made their first major move of the offseason, signing offensive coordinator Shane Waldron to come to the Chicago Bears. I mean, Bobby, we're going to talk about what that could mean for the team, the quarterback situation, other things that the Bears could now look to do. How is he going to fill out the staff? We're going to break it all down right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm one of the hosts here, Haize, joined by Bobby today on the daily episode because we got major news, man. The Bears have officially hired Shane Waldron. Now, Bobby, I got an emergency video out with my kind of general thoughts on it, man. How do you feel about the hiring itself?
Hey, he was number one on my list, and I'm still happy that the Bears went through a long list. Forget y'all Chargers hating on us for trying to interview Kellen Moore, but nonetheless, the Bears did their due diligence, so I'm happy that they did that and they hired the right guy. This guy's somebody who worked with Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and Geno Smith. He knows how to build that offense, and hey, I'm anxious to see what he can actually bring to the team for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the hire. I mean, again, we knew that they were probably going to be bringing somebody in from that McVay coaching tree. He does bring that on. And so one of the things, though, you want to look at, I know people, because we can talk a lot about the positive. What are some of the more concerns you have about Shane Waldron? I know he's number one on your list, but what concerns do you have about him potentially, well, not potentially, him coming here now for the offensive coordinator role?
Well, at least for this group of players, I really want to see if he can incite some explosion out of the backfield for our running backs. I know it's something that we ain't really talk about. We've been talking a lot about the O-line and wide receiver help, but I seen, bro, this playoffs, you need running back with that can move the chains, fight, give that second effort, and be a threat out of the backfield. I know we got some potential in these guys. I know we seen a few glimpses and examples and stuff, but I want to see if he could really establish that. And like as far as concerns, something to what I noticed is that like pretty much Shane Waldron, he can get stuck in that sticking to the game plan. And that's it could be a pro and a con because sometimes you don't want to bail too early, but it can affect them in certain ways as well if you're looking at what needs to change at certain points at the game. But other than that, I'm really, really happy about this signing.
For sure. Now, people have brought up, I've saw it in the comment section, things like that he does use a lot of screens. Now, I know that we have screen PTSD as Chicago Bears fans right now, but I would say this, if you guys are concerned about the number of screens and how Shane Waldron uses it, I say the difference between what Getsy does, Getsy just called screens to call screens. Waldron actually sets them up in the way that he overall calls the offense, and it complements other things. And so I don't want us to have this outlook on, as Bears fans of screens are just bad. Screens are good in football. They can get you a lot of yards. It's how you use them. I think Shane Waldron is one that utilizes them very well.
And I think that's a great point. If you look at that Baltimore Ravens game when they absolutely needed to convert a third down, they ran a wide receiver screen to Zay Flowers, and it was designed well. So I think it comes down to the play design and how you setting up. And also, like you said, you setting it up. You have to set it up. And Steve-O was saying that all season.
Yeah. Now, specific Bears players, and we're going to start here because I know everybody's going to ask what it means for the quarterback. I think it affects more than just the quarterback position, but I know that's one that everybody's wondering at. You already seen people say, well, this means Justin Fields staying. Shane Waldron isn't going to want to have to bring on a rookie quarterback. Some people say that, oh, no, Shane Waldron's going to want a quarterback like a Caleb Williams to come in here. What do you think this means personally for the quarterback situation, Bobby?
Honestly, that the Bears can go and do whatever they want. They did not tip their hand. I believe if you sign Greg Roman, that's an absolutely Justin Fields hire. If you go and sign Cliff Kingsbury, that's an absolutely Caleb Williams signing. But now you got a guy whose system can work for the rookie quarterback, for the professional quarterback, and for the comeback player that's trying to be the quarterback in Geno Smith. So it's a system that works for whatever they're trying to do. And the best thing is, why we got the Ryan Pose on the phone shirt on today, is because he didn't tip his hand. So shout out to Ryan Pose on that.
And that's what I say too with a lot of this. Like everybody who tries to read the tea leaves and say that it means this for the quarterback, this. Shane Waldron has worked with a lot of different types of quarterbacks, so you can't really say what that means. Now, I do think to your point, you can do it either or with it. Shane Waldron is a guy that builds an offense, I think personally, around the strengths of the team. And I think that's the bigger conversation to have here is that, to me, you hire somebody like a Shane Waldron, that means that regardless, whatever the moves that the Bears are doing, they're going to be making moves to truly be that playoff team. This team is no longer just that rebuilding team where we're just going to be bad. And I think this hiring solidifies that a lot. But outside of the quarterback situation, what Bears players do you think are going to benefit the most from Shane Waldron coming in here?
Haize, I'm looking at whoever wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3 is, because we know wide receiver 1, which is DJ Moore, is going to get his attention, but we need that help with wide receiver 2 and 3. In Seattle, Shane Waldron had Jackson Smith and Jigba and Tyler Lockett. Those guys, Jackson Smith and Jigba, had 93 targets as a wide receiver 3. Tyler Lockett had 122 targets as a wide receiver 2. Darnell Mooney as a wide receiver 2 only had 61 targets, Haize.
That's night and day,
crazy,
bro.
And there's only 20 more than their starting tight end.
and that's the thing, is that this is gonna be an offense that truly spreads the ball out like that we're still gonna run the ball out because that is one of our strengths, but you're gonna get your wide receivers way more involved in it as well. And I think this does highlight that the Bears are definitely gonna go after. And here's the thing as well that we need to talk about. This is also a offensive coordinator that does get creative in how he uses his wide receivers. Exactly. So seeing wide receivers used in the running game more could be a thing that we see consistently, because DK is used all over the place.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. Like, we was always questioning why, why Tyler Lockett wasn't being featured a little bit more, or why you didn't run more shallow crosses or slants for Darnell Mooney out inside the slot. So it was a lot of things that we was asking of Luke Getsy that we weren't seeing, and Shane Waldron, with his talent and his players over there, was able to feature just about everybody. So
and Cole Kmet, I think Cole Kmet is going to benefit a lot from this.
Yeah, bro. A lot. I think he's gonna be set up pretty nice because he's a solid tight end and he's trending upward, and he provides you something in the pass game and the block game when it comes to this tight end blocking. So
facts. I know you mentioned the running back position a little bit. Roschon, a lot of people have questioned. We know that Deontay Foreman isn't probably coming back. Khalil's locked in for another year. Do you think that do you expect to see Shane Waldron use Roschon Johnson? Because we saw his snaps percentage keep going up. It was going up before the injury. Then he had to work himself back up. By the end of the season, he was out there for, I think, about 48% of the snaps. Do you think, you talked about how we need that big time back? He has that ability. He hasn't really had a lot of opportunity to show it for sure. Or do you think they may look to go and bring in a different running back as well? Do you think that he's going to look at this and say, hey, Roschon, Khalil, we're going to rock with you guys?
I mean, you can look at it like that, but I'm always, me as the guy that's a competitor, especially with looking within your division first. You gotta do your due diligence in this aspect as well, because we look at Khalil Herbert. His weaknesses is one of the most things that you need out of him, and that's pass blocking. And a lot of times he misses his assignments and things like that. But Roschon Johnson, he does have that promise. He's a former quarterback, so he has the IQ and understand where pressures are coming from. He has the body size, and we've seen what he can do out of the backfield. And when he running down the middle of the field, you better look out. If you trying to tackle too high, you're gonna get ran over. So I still want to do my due diligence and see, for real.
Facts. I like that. I like that a lot. Any kind of free agents that I know that we didn't have this per se on the list, but are there any free agents out there, any position that you think that the Bears are really going to attack in free agency now that we know Waldron's going to be the offensive coordinator?
I mean, you got to look at some guys that are good in space, at least for your wide receivers. Me personally, even though you can go out and draft another guy, I believe that wide receiver that you're going to draft is going to be more so fitted on the outside. Not saying he can't work inside, but more so fitted on the outside. So you got to look at maybe a pass catcher in the later rounds, or a vet. I don't have a specific name right now, but who can operate and create his own separation. Whether you look at Darnell Mooney, that could be a discussion. Maybe get him on a prove-it deal. Ryan Poles is known for prove-it deals. You know what I'm saying? That they could be like, hey, they could talk about it. This is still Effis Fields. This is still my guy. Let us figure it out. We got new OC coming in here. Let's give him another shot with a 1-year prove-it deal. That's always on the table, too, because I don't think that Darnell Mooney just somehow fell off the face of the earth. because
Yeah.
it just didn't make sense. I believe he still got talent. It's just been a little bit shaky for him.
So you think this could signify Darnell Mooney coming back? Because I think we were all kind of on the path that he's probably more than likely gone. Is this kind of changing your mindset on that a little bit?
I mean, not too much, but it's always something that you got to consider, because for what I've seen is that they want to build out this, oh my God, this team with continuity, which we don't like to use, but it's been shown that they want
Yeah.
players around that want to be here. And I don't think Darnell Mooney gonna have like a crazy market, so he might have to take a 1-year deal, and it could potentially be here. If we're going off percentages, I said I be in favor of them looking at Darnell Mooney probably about 35%.
That's fair. That's fair. When you with this hiring, I know we got to go through free agency. We got to go through the draft. What does this do for your expectations of the Chicago Bears offense heading into 2024?
Oh, they better have, bro. You cannot come into game plans doing bonehead stuff. So the expectation is for them to look much better and for us to have an idea of what a drive is supposed to look like depending on the situation. Because again, I always bring up this point, and they probably already know where I'm going. How do you get the ball as the Chicago Bears with 2 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first half, and you give the ball up to the opposing team at the 2-minute warning? You only ran off 27 seconds.
Bro, that frustrated the holy hell out of me. Like, that's, you just, as a competent offense, you can't do that, bro.
Yeah, you just can't do that. And that was one of the most egregious things I've seen all season from Luke Getsy. So I think that he's going to provide that clarity. And we just want to see competence, man. We want to see good route concepts. We want to understand that this screenplay makes sense and that you ain't going to call it 3 times back to back.
Yeah.
Shit.
The same play, bro. Like, and sometimes he didn't even flip the sides that the execution was supposed to have. The same, come on, bro. Like, that's one thing that we aren't going to have to worry about at all with Shane Waldron being the offensive coordinator. We're going to get an offense that looks. If you're going to get a competent offense, it's going to look like an NFL offense. How much success is going to be had in these games? That, of course, comes down to the talent. It comes to the execution of the players. But at least with what the coach is supposed to do, I'm looking at this hiring of Shane Waldron, and I'm saying this is that this hey, the training wheels are off at this point in time.
Facts.
It's time to ride this thing on out, bro. Like, whatever we're going to be, this signifies that. And this is, to me, Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, Matt Eberflus making their move to say, hey, we're not settling anymore. We are trying to be the best of what we can be, and we're going to see what this turns into, and we're gonna give that effort. And like I said, shout out to Matt Eberflus. We expect him to still be calling defensive plays. That's one of his biggest strengths. But getting an offensive play caller in here now, like a Shane Waldron, to me, that's saying that we're still developing. I don't think anybody's now looking at it and now saying we're this team that we're just going to be what we're going to be. But regardless of what happens with any other position, we're now fighting to compete. It's no more just trying to stay ahead. There's no more of that being stagnant with the offense. Like so often last year with Luke Getsy, like, again, we're not going to play to not lose the game. We're going to play to win these games now.
Right.
And as Bears fans, that's something that we all deserve and want to see, man.
Agree. You want to know what else I thought about too? The potential signing of Chris Harris. To me, if you tie all this in with that signing, this tells me that you really did your due diligence and you really want to push this team forward. To be honest with you, Haize, this is kind of the staff that we should have had in the first place.
It really is, bro. It really is. I mean, you look at it like, I know they interviewed Chris Harris for his position last year, and it wasn't that the Bears turned him down. He actually decided on the Titans job rather than come here. So they double back and get him. And I think this, like, don't get me wrong, like how Shane Waldron fills out his staff is going to be important. I actually think a lot of the faces that we saw interview for this OC position, don't be surprised if some of those guys pop up on this staff. Again, they're all familiar with each other. About 6 of the candidates we interview are all on the same staff under McVay on the Rams anyway.
Crazy,
so there's that chemistry there. But I agree with you. Like, the hiring now of the defensive coordinator to pivot towards that it's gonna, like, you're now looking for a guy who brings in something. Chris Harris brings a lot of that. I want to see who else they're gonna interview, but I like the Chris Harris interview, and I like the direction it seems like they're going with the coaching staff. There's no salary cap with coaches. Go out and spend your money with coaches. And so if the Bears are doing that, and what I said as well on the emergency episode, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me know what you feel about this, Bobby, if Shane Waldron is given that title of associate head coach as well.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. That'd be fantastic for him. And Haize, when I think about it, you get the experienced guy on the offensive side with actual experience who comes from a culture under Pete Carroll that's about winning. Then if you do sign Chris Harris, you get the guy who was a former player on the last Super Bowl run team, so that knows about culture and has the experience as a player and a coach. So now you start cooking up stuff, bro. This is exciting. This is exciting.
It's good to have a team that's been this aggressive. Like, bro, we not even in the damn AFC NFC championship week. I guess we are now. It's starting this week, but like, we've already gone through 9 interviews for our offensive coordinator, settled on that. We got 1 interview in the bank already for defensive coordinator. When I get staffs filled out, I could see a world in which the Bears have their offensive staff almost completely filled out and their defensive coordinator before the Super Bowl even happens. And then that way, once the season officially ends after the Super Bowl, you're focused on your trades, you're focused on free agency, you're focused on your draft plans. That's where you want to be at.
They taking care of business the right way. I guess the first report that came out by the reporters out there saying that the Bears are not interviewing defensive head coach was actually the sign that they're getting stuff done. So, hey, they can't wait to see what else is coming down the pipe for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we'll continue to break it down. You guys know here at Chicago Bears Central, we the #1 spot. We're gonna keep having that fire for you. Whatever happens, news drops, we drop. Hey, listen, it is what it is. Y'all make sure you stay subscribed. And to repay you for that subscription of subscribing to the channel, we're giving you the latest news breaking. You ain't even got to check. Turn your notifications on here. If news drops, we drop. One of us is going to have a video out shortly after the news gets done. And that's what it comes down to, man. Like, we're trying to deliver the best Bears content out there. And that's what it's going to be, man. We appreciate you guys so much. Bobby, tell them where they can follow you at before we get out of here, brother.
Hey, I just want to say, man, we appreciate all the support that y'all been giving the channel. This ain't nothing without y'all. Y'all know how we rock over here on Chicago Bears Central. We family, and we're going to keep it going that way. If y'all want more from me, hit me up on Shy Bulls Podcast and NBA Central. Let's go.
Absolutely. You can follow us at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for our mailbag, 773-242-9336. I need y'all to listen. We get too many voicemails on the Chicago Bulls Central voicemail line. It's a completely different voicemail. Listen, 773-242-9336. That's the right voicemail. Get that in, y'all. But hey, like we like to end everything on, Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys, man. Peace.
Yes, sir.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.